Hey there, Transformers fans. Welcome back. Here again with another custom paint overhaul video. This time taking a look at one of my, I guess, sort of all-time classic favorite deluxe figures, and that being the Transformers Prime Deluxe Arcee. This was a great character. I really enjoyed how they wrote Arcee in Transformers Prime. It really did a lot of justice to the character, and really kind of gave her a lot of depth in terms of the backstory, and making her really an amazing fighter. Very skilled, and just absolutely fearless. So it was a great new version of Arcee, and I felt that the molds that they gave us for deluxes were good. I definitely prefer the visual appearance of this mold. This is the RID, or Robots in Disguise mold from Transformers Prime. But the first edition, as much as it was probably generally accepted as a better transformation, et cetera, et cetera, I think this does a better job of nailing the character model from the show. So this is the one that I chose for my collection, knowing full well that as soon as I got it, I was going to repaint it. So I did this quite a while ago, but it's really held up. I haven't handled it a whole lot, but the paint seems to be holding up pretty well. And this was really sort of a top to bottom repaint on this figure, because the original colors for the blue and everything else that they chose was really kind of drab and didn't really reflect what Arcee looked like in the show. So I started with a metallic blue acrylic paint from Tamiya. That really gave it a nice, I don't know if you can really kind of see, but it does have a very nice metallic shine to it that Arcee's finish in the show really had. So I think it does a great job of reflecting what her actual color looked like. In addition, I also added a lot of accents in terms of the silver, the sort of light metallic pink, which you'll see in various places. And that was kind of one of the things that I thought was sort of a really neat nod to Arcee's original character model, is that they didn't just go with a completely different color palette for her. Well, they did, but they still incorporated a little bit of that sort of classic Arcee pink in there, in these metallic accents that they have. And in order to get that color, actually what I did was I took the silver paint that I use on a lot of the other accents and just mixed in a couple of drops of acrylic pink paint until I got sort of that light shade, but still had the metallic elements to it. And I think it turned out really well. And you can see that on her wrist there, on the leg accents, right on her elbow. There's also a little bit of pink in there too. And then of course on her sort of face guards and her helmet spike there, those all had to be pink according to what she looked like in the show. So that's what they did. And there's a couple other accents as well. Obviously on her front wheel, that guard had a little bit of pink on it. One of the other things that you'll notice is that obviously I've given her new weapons, and these came from Shapeways. It was a set of 4 that came with 2 blasters and 2 arm blades, which is a much more scaled interpretation, properly scaled interpretation of the size of the blades that she would have on her arms. And they came out really nice. I don't know if you can kind of see the sculpted detail on these, but they do a very good job of representing what her arm blades looked like in the show. So I just added some silver paint on the blade itself, and then some metallic gray on the sort of the nub that extends from her arm. And then similar thing on the blasters here. I would have liked, I think, if the blasters maybe were a little shorter, because as you can see, she basically just holds them like a pistol rather than having them, sort of more integrated into her arm. Like if they integrated like maybe there as opposed to there, that would look a lot better. Like it would more be of an extension, or coming out of her arm, rather than having this giant long blaster sticking out. It could be about that far, and that would probably be better. But all in all, the mold on these is really nice. You can kind of see there's like a scope thing that pops out the top, and then there are these panels on the sides that I painted blue to match her main blue color, and then obviously the silver and the dark gray accents, or pieces of the blaster itself, to try and mimic as much show accuracy as possible. So I think that does a pretty good job of looking like a nice representation of her blasters that she had in the show. One last thing I guess that I'm going to point out is that I did add a tiny little Autobot logo repro label on the top of her chest there, because the RID figures from this line, the deluxes from this line, for some reason didn't have any Autobot logos on them. I don't know why, but they didn't. So I had to add that. I think Bumblebee did. Oh no, the Bumblebee I have is from first edition, so that's why he has the logo. But yeah, none of the deluxes had Autobot logos. But anyway, I think that overall, when you add a lot of paint, or when you add some paint to this mold, it really does make it look really sharp and really show accurate. The molded detail is certainly accurate to the cartoon model. So by adding the certain paint accents in the right places, you can definitely get a much better looking Arcee figure for your shelf. And given the fact that I absolutely loved the entire Transformers Prime show, all the characters were great. I loved Arcee. I liked what they did with Prime and Ratchet. Bulkhead was awesome. Wheeljack was great. I mean, it was just an all-around a great cast. The Decepticons were fantastic as well. Starscream was a very cool interpretation of Starscream. Megatron was awesome. It was a great show all around. So to have a figure looking like this, when I ended up sort of being done with this repaint, I just kind of took a step back and just was like, wow, that looks really, really nice. So I'm definitely happy with this one. And I hope that, if you have this figure, maybe this inspires you to add a little more paint to it, a little more accuracy, because once you do get it painted up, according to what the show model looked like, it looks absolutely fantastic. So hope you enjoyed this look at my custom Transformers Prime Deluxe Arcee. Be happy to hear your opinions on what you think of the end result here, as well as to take a look at the rest of my videos. Would love if you watched them and let me know what you think. Would be great to get a subscribe from you as well if you haven't subscribed already. And for those people that have subscribed, thank you very much. And we will talk to you soon with another video. Thanks very much. Have a great day.